Hey guys, it's me, Lego Goliath, and we're just gonna be waiting for some guys here. We're gonna do a 1v1 OBS, not using peep mode, even though I suggested it, but it doesn't really matter. It's gonna be a rematch, or no, this is new. It's gonna be Listos Ese Guerrero versus Milk Tests, or MIK Tests. Star Spawn, and then the observers are going to be myself, Reject Duzma, and Gerald. In the last game, I wasn't able to cast it because it took me a while to get my stuff ready. It was Reject Duzma versus Gerald. I'm the only one who hasn't played yet. I will cast this one. So just letting them know that I will be casting this one. We can use peep mode easier. Use. Alright, seems like I got a chat open, but who cares? So it's gonna be the level 3 silver milk test star spawn versus Listos Esegero. Or yeah, and we're in Entombed Valley, a 4-player map, so scouting will be crucial to get timings up and things. And this is a tough map because sure, you can break down those rocks in between your natural, right here, in between your natural and your would-be third, but that also allows easier access into your natural as opposed to only having to wall off here, or a Zerg only having to put like double Evo chamber and then a spine and then a queen in the middle, because I believe that fills that big wide ramp. But you can break that off to get easy access between the two, something Zerg might want to have, maybe even Protoss, just because of the lack of mobility. These bases here, good for Terran, because they can just fly their command center there and do it that way. Alright, so we're going to get underway right away. And so it is going to be a regular 1v1 obs, not using peep mode, so I do have to put this up manually, but it is pretty cool. So it shows you their names, their supplies. You've got their minerals, gas, and supply there too. We'll show the production tab, and then periodically I will be going to the army supply and the units killed. Alright, so let's get underway. Spawning up in the top left hand side of the map is Listos Esegero, and spawning down on the bottom right hand side as spawning as Zerg, and spawning as Protoss on the bottom right hand side is Milk Test's Star Spawn. Both supply blocked right now, getting their overlords and pylons up. We're gonna have drones and pylons. Oh god, you'd think it being my main race, I know to say the names better. Early assimilator there, early gas, always good for Protoss. We'll see what he does about these rocks later on, both players. I would think just as Zerg, for the mobility, it'd be easier to defend with that, because you can always put spine crawlers here, put your double evos there, and then just a spine here, and then like a spore in the back right here. And then another thing, if you have spores here and spores here, and then another spore around here and here, your bases are pretty much covered, because this one makes him kite around here, which will give you the extra hits there, which will give you the extra hits here in case he thinks there's nothing there. And then when he comes back to this side, it should overlap the two spore crawlers. So that's how you want to set up your spore crawlers there. The early gas still not being mined from here. Does have an idle worker that I would prefer that to be in the gas. Does have his gateway up. Is going to be walling off. Pylon in front. Um, this was something that was used a lot in the early stages of Heart of the Swarm. Not very good for now Heart of the Swarm. Most of the time you'll want to have your pylon back here just so roaches don't snipe it. And then you can put your cyber core right here and then a zealot right there. A zealot or two in that little gap right there. And then that covers you from zergling run-bys. Then you can have stalkers back here to help you with roaches. Put a sentry back here, like in this little gap, to put force fields on the ramp. Alright, so this drone is kind of seeing what he's got to see. Oh, but he just gets pushed into a corner, just making sure that he sees everything. The probe, on the other hand, I believe, let's check, didn't get to see the spawning pool, didn't see the timing of that spawning pool, or of that assimilator, right? Yeah, didn't see the spawning pool, didn't see the assimilator, or the base, doesn't know what's going on, did get his early scouting out, so he did know where the base was going to be. His units do get cleaned up. Oh shoot, sorry, moved that. His units do get cleaned up here, but worker supply favoring Zerg, army supply about even. Now favoring Protoss here, but units killed, it's even. Okay, yeah, because the probe was killed and the drone was killed here. Idle worker, not really good. Does he have a rally point? Yes, so it's just a worker that's taking it all in before he does anything. So we are going to be seeing early creep. Well, not early, but a creep tumor down there just to get that creep going. Probably an inject larva up here. Yeah, that's what it was. So inject larvas and creep tumors all the way around. Warp gate, really good. To see that coming up. I would prefer that the stalker be back here, and yeah, that does create a hole for the zealot to go through, but it's not as good a hole, because here, if you do it the way that I told you, the cybernetics core takes up about that space, and then that's two beefy buildings with big shields, as opposed to a 200, a 400 health building, as opposed to that's 1,200. And again, that's 1,000. That's really beefy stuff there, as opposed to the weak link of this. And I believe this isn't Zergling tight. I may be wrong though. Does have the Twilight Council on the way. Double gas as well. Should have another expansion up. This is really bad for Protoss. Letting these minerals just sit there, not doing anything. Needs more. Does go ahead and research hallucination. Wait, is this Wings of Liberty? Oh shoot, I think we are seeing a Wings of Liberty game here. But you know what? It's alright. Is a little heavy on the Zealot side. Let's go check their army supplies. So still favoring Protoss, which means he's probably only got the 2 queens out. But he's being left alone. That means macro, lair, double evo, can get more lings out, double gas down here, double gas up there, and possibly an expansion. Macro hatchery gonna be going down there. That's a partial wall-in, so that's really good. He can just put a small concave of roaches there and hold that beautifully. Maybe a roach or 2 on this side. But yeah, wall-offs for all 3 races, even though it may not seem so likely for Zerg, are really important to stop the push. So these... Oh, I was lagging out the game a little bit there. Sorry, guys. These rocks haven't come into play for either player. Really late expo from our Protoss player. This is going to be setting him back a lot. Even though I believe the upgrades... So upgrades are going to be for Zerg advantage. Spire is on the way. Double Spire. Getting those upgrades twice as fast. 2 more hatcheries down. 1 here and the macro hatch there. And then we're going to have the Spore Caller coming through. So that's going to be a lot of extra stuff there. Forge barely on the way for our Protoss player. Researching Zealot legs. Oh, and there's already a timing attack. Sorry that I missed that, guys. They are able... they are able to clean that up. Sorry for the little hiccup that I had just there. Nexus does get finished. It does not get denied. Another attack coming here. Zelalex is finished, but will it be enough? Zergling run by. If the Zerglings are smart, they'd run up here where it's undefended at the moment, and even though he'd be able to warp in, it'd take him a while. Oh, that's a really good confrontation there. And so upgrades on the way. 1-1 for Zerg. 1-1 melee as the main attack there. Spire's almost done. That means Mutalisk on the way. Banelings are on the way too. Sorry guys, I gotta check my phone real quick. Give me a second since I'm going silent. Alright guys, I am back. Double Spire with 1-1 upgrades for air on the way. Baneling Nest also on the way. The macro hatch is done. Let's check army supply now. I believe, yeah, it is way up for our Zerg player here. Can this hold? Why do you have the Stalkers on the low ground? Did he lose the Zealots? Oh, I missed that. I'm sorry, guys. Alright, let me get that out of the way. And this is what I was talking about. Zergling run by into the main base. Could be spelling disaster. Could finish this right here. Has the Stalkers in a really bad position. Can clean them up real easily. Wow, indeed. And so yeah, the 2 sentries helping with the cleanup there, and the 2 probes pulled off the line, and sure, the army supply does go down, but it's not going to be enough once those mutas are out and about on the field. 1 attack is on the way. So that's going to be real bad for our Protoss player. That's his first upgrade of the game. The cannons, yeah, the unit, the sometimes considered the saving grace of the Protoss. Well, let's see here, because this attack is going to be coming in rather quickly. And the worker count, oh my gosh, I can't believe I didn't see this earlier, is skyrocketing for our Zerg. This is really important. The macro of the Zerg is really, I mean, he's ahead 2 bases. That's all you need as Zerg. If you can be ahead 2 bases against 3 bases after that one goes down, against any race as Zerg, even against another Zerg, if you're ahead of them by 2 bases, you're in the best shape you can possibly be. Now has the Zerg flyer attack 1-1 on the way with oh wait, no, that's not 1-1. That's getting ready for, that's 2-2 for both ground and for air. Overlords moving to their safety, their Overlord Convention Committee. Yeah. More overlords coming to that committee. See, this is what I was talking about. You've got this small gap right here. You can fill it up with Zerglings, Roaches, whatever you want. And then you've got your spine crawlers there. Rocks have not been taken out, but that's because this base probably hasn't gotten under swing. Or probably just wants that barrier to slow down the attack. Or he wants to confront in here his, where he can just swing around back and forth. But this is good because if the Protoss army is here, or any army is there, the Zerg player can swing around here and swing around back here, like have the Lings attack here, and the Roaches come around here while the Flyers come in from the front here, in this choke right here, while the army is just left defenseless there. You can only retreat one way, and that allows for the three-pronged attack. So, yeah, that's going to be real dangerous for our Protoss player. Does add on some gateways, but will it be enough? Can get the 2-2 upgrades. Does have shields queued, but by the time this attack lands, I believe... Oh, I did that again. He's only going to be at 1 attack, maybe 1 armor. Yeah, and this attack looks like it's coming now. Infestors, didn't even see when that Infestor pick came down. I mean, he was so good, he hit it from the caster. Heyo, does think that he can move out here. Big mistake. Those fungals are going to be huge for the Zerg if he's paying attention. Oh, he's not paying attention. He's not paying attention. Oh, infested marines or fungals, anything at this point to save his investors would be great. If he can just keep those sentries alive, those force fields are going to help him in the late game. Neuroparasite on the way. Let's see what he does with that C. It's a very good choke for Zerg. Oh, the three-pronged attack. The full surround from the behind. Oh, those units are gone. This is GG right here, if I ever saw one, because he has nothing back at home. Okay, he's starting to get something up. He warped in a whole bunch of stalkers. That's not going to help him. Those cannons probably aren't going to do that much. Sure, they're going to buy him some time. But let's look at the army supply. 70 or so to about 14 does go down because those banelings count as if that's not a unit at the moment. 9 more infestors on the way. 16 banelings on the way. Neuroparasite is done. So let's see if he can get another round of warpins before this attack. It would be ideal for him to do so. Does have the ability to warp in. Can he warp in? No, he's getting 2 robos. 3 robos. This is bad. This is cutting into his... Oh, well, he does have a lot of minerals. Does go ahead and warp in those stalkers. That would have been bad if he was playing at good Protoss level, because going for that tech right then and there would have stopped him from getting a last warp in. But it won't matter. With a supply of 92 to 28, there's no way our Protoss player can hold this off. Not unless the Golden Armada came down right now and said, we're going to help you. But that's not nowhere in sight. Macro for the Zerg is a little high. You do want to make sure, because you can pull this off with having that macro at a safe space. Although Protoss is rather high as well. Let's get ready for this. Oh yeah, I haven't noticed the supply block for a long time. Hasn't been putting down any pylons. Let's see, 4 on the way. That's going to clear him up. But for how long? He does have 3 immortals on the way. Just Zerg, go in right now for the kill. I mean, that's your best bet. Banelings going in first could wipe out all of the stalkers. They just want to clean that up real quick. The immortals on the high ground could prove to be rather well. Get those stalkers up here. That's your main objective at this point. Fungal growth, stopping there. Does snipe 1. 3 infestors there. That's going to be really good. Those 3 immortals will give them some advantage on the high ground. Zerglings on the hold position. There's their spendings right there. We're going to go back. We're going to go to units this time. 12 infestors, 6 banelings, and 57 zerglings. My God. The Protoss are in some serious trouble. 3 stalkers and 3 immortals. That's it. And only 32 probes. Some of them going to be popping instantly from these fungals. If the Zerg player... No, don't move out. What are you thinking? Those 6 immortals and those 7 extra zealots are not going to help you that much. Especially with no detection to see burrowed units. And infested marines on this army could be horrible right now. And that's what's going down. With the DPS of these infested marines, it's going to be too much for the Protoss to handle. Does warp in a new set of zealots, but is it going to be enough? Yeah, they do clean it up, but now he can just come in with another volley and burrow right under the base, and then infested marine right on that mineral line. Oh shoot, this is going to be real bad for our Protoss player. Doesn't even know what hit him. If you know that ghost line from StarCraft 1 and probably StarCraft 2 too. I said 2 too. I haven't heard it said in StarCraft 2 though. It's they'll never know what hit them. That's what the infestors are saying right now to those poor probes. You'll never know what hit them. Oh man, that's really bad for our Protoss player. Yeah, he's got detection, but the DPS of those Marines is just gonna be bad. Does take out most of these infestors. Is going to get all of them, I believe. Does wipe out all the infestors. Yes, does wipe out all the infestors. With 3 stalkers somewhere on the map, on the low ground. Let's see if he can stabilize here. Does have his upgrades on the way. Will have 2-1 2-1-2, I believe. 2 armor, 1 shield, and 2 attack. But I mean, oh, I did that again. But I mean, oh wait, the supply is up for the Protoss. If he could attack right now, while the Zerg player is not making anything but queens, oh man, that would be really good. Now look at the bases though. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 hatcheries on the field, I believe. Let's check structures real quick. 7 hatcheries, 1 lair. That's quite a bit. But let's see if our Protoss can hold this off. Because that's 7 times 3 for the Zerg. They can make 3 units without a injection of larva injection from those queens. So that's probably what those queens were for, to man all the bases. And some of these aren't even mining. That's hilarious. Because their just sole purpose is birthing queens. Here's that army again. Oh wait, no, it's not an army. It's the queens. They're finally taking out those rocks from both angles. They don't do that much to those rocks, though. Because these rocks just have a lot of damage. See, that wall off I was talking to you about, 2,000 is a lot. That wall off altogether, if you would have done it the way that I mentioned, is altogether closer to 4,000. Or 4,000, or 2,500 or so. And so, yeah, that's a really good wall off. It'd take a whole bunch of queens a whole lot of time. But you know what? That's just a lot of queens on the field here. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 queens on the field there, folks. We're gonna go back to production tab. Still more queens, more and more queens on the way, so probably just gonna expand that creep and do a queen rush while he's low. It does seem like that's gonna be the choice here for our Zerg player. Hey, if you're gonna go out with a bang. I always say this army on the high ground would be crucial, because then the queens couldn't do what they would like to do. Yeah, so let's see how this one pans out. I'm gonna put hit point bars on just for this battle, because it seems like it's gonna be an epic one. Alright, let's check units here. 33 queens. Whoa, that is really scary. Now, if observers was visible to players, that would be pretty bad. Oh, I think he's gonna GG before the game. I think he did hear that. He's gonna warp in his last 2 stalkers and see if he can hold this off. I think not. Mass Queen, so good. Waiting for that creep to go down, as he's got some of his queens pooping. I think he's just AFK there, putting his units on the attack command. Gerald has left the game. More zealots there, so he's not at AFK. But we'll see how this last attack goes down, as the creep inches more and more forward towards the Protoss player's base. Those 6 sentries could easily wall this off and make it a shooting gallery for his immortals. But let's see if he's got the reflexes. That creep is getting really close, shooting away at these queens. But if they can't get those force fields off, it won't mean anything. I mean, what's this game getting close to? Maybe 24 minutes or so? This is going to take a while to upload. So, yeah, this is going to be my longest casted game so far. And now, drones going to come into the fight. I believe everything except the ones that are still mining are still in this. Upgrades barely on the way. That's 3-3 flyer. Oh, man. This is going to be something. A drone queen assault. Oh, this is a really scary army. He is maxed out, by the way, on queens and drones. Well, 75 supply versus the 200 supply of queens and drones. Oh, shoot. That is just... Wow. And then that one queen that just, like, wasn't invited to the party. It's like, queen, get over here. He's just waiting, and that creep Oh, my mouse just disconnected, so I'm gonna use the arrow keys here. Here it is, that final assault. The creep has infiltrated the Protoss base. He is killing off a lot of queens if they would use the transfuse. Oh shoot. He might live near me because I just heard some, that there are ambulances and firefighters and they just ran by my house. So he could live rather close to me. Where you live, Star Spawn. I heard too. So maybe he lives nearby. This attack might actually hold. The Queens don't do that much damage, and the Immortals are having fun, but those transfuses are going down. Those workers did take a lot of the kills. Those Immortals still alive, though. Guardian Shield doing a great job of holding this off. But so are the transfuses. They're going down. Is that a Queen's head right there that just dissolved? Yes, it is. More Zealots being warped in on the high ground. That's going to be really good. They're running down the ramp with their charge lot legs. But these transfuses are just too much. They can pump them out all day long. And even though the Protoss put a good stand, and they're not doing a lot of damage, this is going to be pretty decisive here. If no transfuses got put down at all, it would have been a totally different story for the Protoss. Drones down here wiping out the last of the Protoss. Spires going, not spires, spine crawlers going down. Burrowed Queens just surviving for that last. But those... So yeah, he says lol BRB. All that fun stuff. I'm gonna check the message log to see if I missed anything. No, I did not miss anything. Queens just there. Being a pain in the butt for Protoss. See if this last warpin can count. Come on, last warpin. Are you even gonna try? Last warpin, dude? Oh yeah, he went to go check it out, so that's gonna be... Technically, this game should be over. But I think he's being kind and not rushing in right away. Nope. He just kind of knows it's up. The gig is up. And that if there were an overseer here, his last army supplied unit would be done. So yeah, we're just going to take that army supply. That one observer makes that 1 to the 36 units. 18 queens. That is just crazy. I cannot believe how many that is. That is just a lot of queens, folks. And all off 7 bases. 2, by the way, were not mining, and 1 was only mining gas. With a lot of larva to spare. Reject Duzma has left the game, and I think I'm about to too. So I said 2-2 again. So Mass Queen OP late game against Protoss that doesn't know what they're doing. So if you want to invite your friend into StarCraft and you just want to show him how great you are, even though you know you're not that good, play as Zerg, follow this build, have him play Protoss and just fumble around with the units, not even knowing what the heck he's doing, and then just annihilate him to the textbook code, like Esgaro just wiped out Starspawn. So that's gonna be it from Lego Goliath, and this is me signing off.